guys. I'll have an opening statement. I think it's important for us to recognize that this is Veterans Day, and I think it's really important for us to understand that we as a basketball team, we don't take that for granted. And this was a big evening for a lot of reasons. One, we celebrated Veterans Day. We also celebrated a gentleman that has meant so much to SIU and our athletic program in Charles Delaney. And what Charles has meant to not only this university, but also our athletic program, has been put down not only as being a fan, but also financially. And we are certainly very thankful for the veterans, and we're very thankful for Charles Delaney and what he's meant to this university. As far as the game goes, we can't guard much better than that. That's about as best as we can guard. The telltale sign of this game was our turnovers, our inability to score, and there late was rebounding. We were doing a good job on the boards until the very end, and we decided to put both the bigs in. And when we did that, it actually kind of bothered us. We didn't get as many rebounds as we did with the smaller group. So, but anyway, that's kind of how I saw it. You guys go ahead and ask questions.
Coach, going up against two top 25 teams to start the season, how does that reflect on the rest of the season?
I don't know about the reflection part, but I think it makes us better. And if we can be fortunate enough to win our first game in Vegas, we'll play 3 top 25 teams in a matter of 2 weeks, and 2 top 5 teams. So we knew the difficulty of the schedule, and I can tell you the first thing that I told Coach Kill when we scheduled Kentucky, I just said we have to find a way to beat Buffalo. We can't go and let Kentucky come over into Buffalo and we lose that game. And there were some unseen circumstances that happened tonight that we weren't planning on, but I thought our guys fought their butts off. I mean, we just held them to their 3-year low offensively, held them to 62 points, and held a guy that just got 43 to 7 points, and did he score in the second half? So, man, I can't fault I can't fault really our effort, and I can't fault what we did defensively. Offensively, I'll take the blame for that. We've got to put our guys in a better position. In the first half, I don't mind. We were just calling plays on the fly. I mean, we had a combination after we've never had that before, and never had we ever anticipate that we would have that. I think the mistake that I made as a head coach is I should have played one of the bigs, and just take for the if we're gonna foul one out. We got 2 of them, and one thing my mom and dad, they always taught me to save, and I got to start spending some. I get in that save mode, and I got to get out of that. So I'll take the blame for that.
A couple quick things. First of all, when did you find out about Armand?
We didn't find out until literally game time. We knew Sunday after church. I met with J.T. Davis and Riley Hoystad, and they just went through they had met with Teak. We were going over Teak because we've had some issues with Teak. Mm-hmm. And I think you can figure that out by the way Teak's playing right now. We've got problems with his knee. And they get through with the presentation on Teak, and they just said, Coach, we're sorry to bring this up, but we got to talk to you about Armand. And I said, what do you mean Armand? They just said, we're going to have an MRI. So when I went, first of all, I didn't go to bed Sunday night. I thought Armand wasn't going to get to play for the rest of the year. I thought he was out for the season. So we got an MRI read. There's no structural damage. There is damage. And we warmed him up at 5 o'clock to 5:30 and see if we could play him, and we just couldn't play him. I cannot tell you when he'll be back. My gut is that he will get to play in Vegas. I'm hoping he'll get to play in Vegas. That's my gut. You guys know me. I've never played possum with injuries, but we've had 2 game time announcements like that in this program, and they've never gone well for us. So I just I don't know what to do differently than what we've done. We kind of gave, and I thought our guys the first half actually they came out and fought their tails off. I thought they did a good job.
You mentioned that period when you had such a small lineup out there. Actually, I thought it was a pretty key time of the game because the possibility for you to really lose ground was there. But the 4 guys you had out there, or 5 guys you had out there, really held their own.
And you saw, Les, they were. We had at one time we had a 6'1" guard guarding our biggest player, and I mean we were diving on the floor for loose balls. We were taking charges. Marcus took a ball out of the guy's hand over there in the corner, and boy, the first thing I did is I normally meet with the staff. I went right in the locker room and told them, even though they made that little out of bounds play there, but I just said, hey, guys, that's a heck of an effort. Heck of an effort, man. I'm proud of you. And we're going to bring these guys back in the second half, and we'll get going.
You seem to get the pace that you wanted as far as, they weren't going up and down. Just, you talk about offense. Where do you need to execute a little bit better, do you think?
I think they sped us up tonight, Todd. I thought we dribbled way, way too much. I thought we dribbled everywhere. Our cuts weren't good. Our passes weren't crisp. We got stagnant. A lot of times you do that. Fear paralyzes you. I'm not saying our guys were afraid, but they're probably. We went to a point where we played not to lose instead of played to win, and I think that always makes you stagnant.
Coach, you said after the Kentucky game, you guys didn't get beat, but you lost. Would you say the same about this game?
Oh, I think they beat us. Yeah, I think they beat us. I mean, I couldn't sit here and tell you. I mean, when I feel like when we lose a game, we don't have great effort. I thought our guys gave effort tonight. I mean, if we'd have played like a bunch of dogs, no pun intended, then I'd tell you. I pretty much told you that in the past. But I thought we were spent tonight. I mean, you look at the minutes played tonight. We played 4 guys above 30 minutes, and it was just because we were forced to. Foul trouble forced us into it. Injuries forced us into it. And, I mean, just one of those deals.
Just to clarify, make sure I got this correct. When you were talking about keeping one of the bigs in, that wasn't that 6-minute span after McGill picked up his foul in the first.
Yes.
In the first half.
Yes.
What do they do defensively that makes it so hard to get things going?
Well, they're kind of like the same piece. They're all corner pieces of the puzzle. They switch out, and they could guard multiple positions. There at the end, you saw switch. We couldn't even run a screen. They were able to do that. And the other thing is, I think the biggest thing is, Darren, they're so athletic and they're so quick that we couldn't beat them off the dribble tonight. Aaron Cook's pretty good at beating guys off the dribble. You saw that at Kentucky. Now, I said this tonight to the people in the Cook Club before we went out there. I'm not saying that they're better than Kentucky's guards, but they're as good as Kentucky's guards. But moving their feet and everything, they're as good as any guard group we've ever played, including the Wichita State groups. That's a pretty good guard group that you saw out there tonight.
How much an emphasis was to the bigs to be careful with their fouls in the second half? Because, I mean, it did make a big difference.
We couldn't get into flow, Les, because we couldn't figure out how the game was being called. They were confused at times, but it was a big emphasis when we came outside. We want to throw the ball specifically into Pip, and then when we got Teak in there, we wanted to throw it in there as well.
Got time for one more, Todd?
Barry, does Armand have a sprained MCL, or what's the nature of his injury exactly? A knee injury. Is there anything else you can tell us?
We'll just go with a bone bruise. He's got a bone bruise.
And you're hopeful he'll be able to play in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
I anticipate he'll play in Vegas. I do not know if he'll play in the next 2 games, but they told me week to week, Todd's what they told me, but they were optimistic. So let's get him back. We'll be okay. All right? Thanks, guys.